GhastlyGarlic Episode 35. Flying Head Curse, the Horror of Black Magic and Tragic Love. Prologue, The Curse of Krasue. In the mystical lands of Southeast Asia, where the dense jungles and serene countryside hold secrets older than time itself, the legend of the Krasue is a tale that has haunted generations. This ghastly spectre is said to be a woman cursed for her sins, doomed to a nightmarish existence. By day, she appears as an ordinary woman, but by night, her head and entrails detach from her body, floating through the darkness in search of sustenance. This transformation is more than a mere ghost story. It is a dire warning etched into the cultural fabric of Thailand, a reminder of the consequences of past misdeeds. The origins of the Krasue are as varied as the stories told about her. In Thailand, one popular legend speaks of a Khmer princess, betrayed and condemned to death by fire. As the flames consumed her, she cast a spell to preserve her soul, but it only saved her head and organs. Another tale recounts the story of a woman practicing black magic, who made a fatal mistake, or a rich lady possessed by an evil spirit, leading to her cursed existence. Despite the differing narratives, the end is always the same: a woman transformed into a terrifying creature, condemned to an eternal, nightmarish hunt for food. Chapter 1. Forbidden Blossoms. The grand estate of the Ratanakosin family was a majestic enclave in the lush, verdant countryside of Thailand. This sprawling mansion, surrounded by gardens filled with exotic flowers, stood as a testament to the family's wealth and influence. The air was always perfumed with the scent of blooming jasmine and frangipani, creating an almost surreal atmosphere of tranquility and beauty. However, for Aika, the youngest daughter of the Ratanakosin family, this paradise felt like a gilded cage. Aika was the epitome of grace and beauty, her long, raven black hair cascading over her shoulders like a silken waterfall, framing a face of delicate, porcelain perfection. Her dark, almond-shaped eyes held a depth of emotion that belied her serene exterior, often reflecting the inner turmoil of a young woman who yearned for something more than the life planned out for her. Despite the luxury that surrounded her, Aika felt a profound sense of emptiness, a void that the opulence of her surroundings could not fill. Her only solace came in the form of secret excursions beyond the estate's imposing gates. Slipping away under the cover of night, Aika would wander the vibrant countryside, where she felt a sense of freedom that was absent within the walls of her family's mansion. It was during one of these clandestine escapades that she met Arun, a handsome farmer from a nearby village. Their meeting was serendipitous, a chance encounter that would change both their lives forever. Arun was everything Aika's world was not. His rugged handsomeness, sun-kissed skin, and a smile that seemed to light up his entire face were a stark contrast to the stiff, polished men of her social circle. He moved with an ease and confidence born of a life close to the earth, his deep, expressive eyes filled with kindness and a touch of mischief. The connection between them was immediate and profound, a spark that ignited a passion neither could deny. Their love blossomed in the hidden corners of the countryside, away from the prying eyes of Aika's family. They met in secret, their rendezvous filled with stolen kisses and whispered promises. In Arun's presence, Aika felt alive, her heart racing with the thrill of their forbidden love. Each meeting deepened their bond, a love that defied societal norms and familial expectations. Chapter 2. Chains of Duty. The day that would change Aika's life forever began like any other. The morning sun filtered through the silk curtains of her opulent bedroom, casting a warm, golden glow over the lavish furnishings. Aika sat at her vanity, brushing her long, dark hair, her thoughts drifting to Arun and the secret world they shared. The serenity of the moment was shattered by a knock on the door. Her father's stern voice called her to the drawing room, his tone brooking no argument. In the grand drawing room, her family had gathered. Her father, a towering figure of authority with a presence that commanded respect, stood by the fireplace, his expression grim. Her mother, elegant and poised, sat on a velvet sofa, her face a mask of concern. Aika's heart sank as she saw Phongsak, a man 3 decades her senior, known for his wealth and political influence, standing beside them. Aika, her father began, his voice heavy with the weight of his decision, "We have arranged your marriage to Phongsak." The words hit Aika like a physical blow. Her mind raced, trying to process the implications of what her father had just said. Marry Phongsak. The thought was abhorrent. She glanced at the man who would be her husband, his eyes cold and calculating, a sharp contrast to the warmth and kindness she found in Arun. "But father," Ika protested, her voice trembling, "I do not love him. I cannot marry him." Her father's expression hardened. "This marriage is not about love, Ika. It is about securing our family's future, our business interests, and our political alliances. You will marry Fongsak, and that is final." Ika's heart broke at her father's words. She felt like a pawn in a game she did not understand, her desires and dreams sacrificed for the sake of her family's ambitions. The thought of a life with Fongsak, a man she barely knew and did not love, filled her with dread. Chapter 3: Secret Embrace. Married to Fongsak, Ika's life became a prison of gilded walls and suffocating expectations. The once vibrant gardens of her family estate now seemed like a distant memory, replaced by the cold, imposing grandeur of Fongsak's mansion. Each day was a struggle to maintain the facade of a dutiful wife, her spirit slowly being crushed by the weight of her new reality. Fongsak, for his part, was a man of routine and order. He demanded obedience and submission, treating Ika more as a possession than a partner. His touch was cold, his affection non-existent. Ika's heart ached with loneliness and despair, her only solace the secret letters she exchanged with Arun, smuggled through trusted servants who sympathized with her plight. Despite the risk, Arun continued to visit Ika in secret. Their love, once a joyful, innocent bloom, now carried the bitter undertone of secrecy and danger. Each rendezvous was a stolen moment of happiness amidst the gloom, a reminder of the life they could have had. Their passion grew even more intense, a desperate attempt to hold on to what little they had left. One fateful night, as the monsoon rains battered the mansion, Arun and Ika found themselves alone in her chamber. The storm outside mirrored the tempest within their hearts. As the thunder roared and lightning illuminated the room, they came together in a fevered embrace, their love for each other burning brighter than ever. In the weeks that followed, Ika discovered she was pregnant. The realization filled her with a mix of joy and terror. The child was a symbol of her love for Arun, a part of him that would stay with her forever. But the fear of discovery loomed large. She hid her pregnancy as best as she could, her mind constantly racing with thoughts of what Fongsak would do if he found out. Chapter 4: The Dark Discovery. Fongsak's suspicions grew with each passing day. He noticed the changes in Ika, her growing distance, the secretive glances and hushed conversations with the servants. His jealousy and paranoia festered, driving him to investigate further. It wasn't long before he discovered the truth about Ika's affair and her pregnancy. Enraged, Fongsak sought the counsel of a powerful Thai guru known for his mastery of black magic. This guru, an ominous figure shrouded in mystery and feared by many, agreed to help Fongsak exact his revenge. The guru cast a sinister spell on Ika, a curse that would activate upon the birth of her child, transforming her into a Krasue. The spell was intricate and dark, drawing upon ancient rites and forbidden knowledge. The guru assured Fongsak that Ika would suffer for her betrayal, her life forever changed by the curse. Fongsak, driven by his need for retribution, accepted the terms, unaware of the full extent of the horror he was unleashing. Chapter 5: Birth of the Krasue. On a stormy night, much like the one when Ika and Arun had last been together, the curse took hold. As the labor pains racked her body, Ika felt a strange, ominous sensation creeping over her. The room seemed to darken, the air growing thick and heavy with an otherworldly presence. As she gave birth, the spell activated, and Ika's transformation began. In the throes of agony, Ika's head and organs detached from her body, her consciousness overtaken by the Krasue's primal hunger. Unaware of her actions, she devoured her newborn, the gruesome scene a horrifying testament to the curse's power. The next morning, Ika awoke to find herself covered in blood, the remains of her child scattered around the room. The realization of what she had done hit Ika like a tidal wave. She screamed in anguish, her mind unable to comprehend the horror. The servants, drawn by her cries, found her in a state of shock, her body trembling with fear and grief. Word of the grisly scene spread quickly, adding to the growing legend of the Krasue. Chapter 6: The Haunted Reality. Each night, the curse transformed Ika into the Krasue, her head and entrails floating through the darkness in search of sustenance. She fed on the blood and flesh of the living, driven by an insatiable hunger she could not control. The once beautiful and serene woman was now a nightmarish creature, her existence a grotesque parody of life. During the day, Ica returned to her human form, her memories of the night's atrocities haunting her. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of the Krasue, their fear and revulsion growing with each new victim. Ica's isolation deepened, her despair overwhelming. She longed for death, for an end to the torment, but the curse bound her to a fate worse than death. Fongsak, reveling in his twisted sense of justice, watched as Ica's life unraveled. His hatred for her burned bright, fueling his desire to see her suffer. The mansion, once a symbol of wealth and power, now stood as a testament to Ica's misery, a place where love had turned to ashes. Chapter 7. A Desperate Reunion. Arun, unaware of the full extent of Ica's transformation, continued to search for her. His love for her remained undiminished, his heart aching with the need to find her and save her from whatever fate had befallen her. He sought out the village elders, the wise men and women who might hold the key to breaking the curse. His journey led him to the same guru who had cast the spell on Ica. The guru, intrigued by Arun's determination and love, revealed the truth about the curse. He spoke of the Krasue's origins, the dark magic that bound Ica to her fate, and the slim chance of breaking the spell. Armed with this knowledge, Arun returned to the mansion, determined to confront Fongsak and save Ica. The confrontation was intense, a clash of wills between two men driven by love and hate. In the end, Arun managed to defeat Fongsak, but the victory was hollow. The curse still held Ica in its grip, and time was running out. Chapter 8. The Final Sacrifice. Arun and Ica's love, though tested and torn, remained unbreakable. Together, they sought a way to end the curse, but every path they explored led to the same grim conclusion. There was no way to break the curse without a terrible sacrifice. The answer lay in ensuring that the Krasue could no longer harm anyone. This meant trapping Ica in her Krasue form until the morning sun could destroy her. Arun, driven by his love for Ica and the need to protect their village from further horrors, devised a plan. He knew that the Krasue was terrified of spiky objects, as they could entangle its exposed entrails and prevent its escape. The only way to stop the Krasue was to create a trap that would hold her until dawn. With a heavy heart, Arun set about constructing a trap in the forest. He planted spiky bamboo shoots in a large circle and placed sharpened stakes in strategic locations to create an inescapable prison. Each night, he toiled by the light of the moon, his heart breaking with every swing of his machete, knowing that he was preparing a death sentence for the woman he loved. Ica, aware of what Arun was doing, felt a profound sense of dread and resignation. She knew that there was no other way to protect the village and prevent her from causing further harm. As much as it pained her, she understood the necessity of Arun's actions. On the night before the final full moon, Arun and Ica shared a last, tearful embrace. They spent the evening together in their secret spot by the river, reminiscing about their happier times and the love they had shared. As dawn approached, they parted, each knowing that this would be their final goodbye. Chapter 9. The Heartbreaking Trap. As the moon rose high in the sky, Ica's transformation began. Her head and organs detached from her body, the familiar, agonizing shift into the Krasue form taking hold. She floated through the darkness, drawn by the hunger that consumed her. Arun, waiting in the shadows, watched with a heavy heart as the woman he loved became a creature of nightmare. Summoning all his courage, Arun lured the Krasue towards the trap. The creature, sensing prey, followed him into the circle of spiky bamboo. As she approached, Arun sprang the trap, causing the sharpened stakes to snap up and form an impenetrable barrier around her. The Krasue thrashed and wailed, her exposed entrails caught on the spikes, preventing her escape. Ica's human consciousness fought through the Krasue's primal instincts. She looked at Arun with a mixture of sorrow and understanding. "Arun," she whispered, her voice choked with pain, "I forgive you. This is the only way." Tears streamed down Arun's face as he watched the woman he loved suffer. "I'm so sorry, Ica," he said, his voice breaking. "I wish there was another way. I love you more than anything." As the first rays of dawn began to pierce the darkness, the Krasue's wails grew more frantic. The sunlight, deadly to the creature, began to burn her flesh. Arun stood by, unable to look away, his heart shattering with every passing second. The Krasue's form disintegrated in the sunlight, leaving behind only ashes and the lifeless body of Ica. Epilogue. A tale of eternal sorrow. Years passed, and the story of Ica and Arun became a legend in the village. The tale of the Krasue and the farmer, who loved her enough to sacrifice her for the good of all, was told and retold. A haunting reminder of love, sacrifice, and the lengths one would go to protect others. The spiky bamboo trap remained in the forest, a somber monument to their tragic love. Arun, his spirit broken, wandered the streets as an old beggar. The vibrant, strong young man, who had once loved Ica, was now a shadow of his former self. He lived in a perpetual state of sorrow, haunted by memories of his beloved. Every night, he found himself drawn to the river where they had shared their last moments, whispering her name into the wind. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned to dusk, a group of children gathered around Arun, curious about the old man, who always seemed to be lost in thought. With a sigh, Arun began to tell them the story of Ica and the Krasue, his voice filled with the pain of a lifetime of loss. Love, he said, is not always kind. Sometimes, it demands more from us than we can bear. But even in the darkest times, it can light the way. Ica's love gave me the strength to do what had to be done. Her memory is my solace, even if it is also my torment. As the children listened, their eyes wide with wonder and sadness, Arun's story became a part of their lives, a lesson in love, sacrifice, and the enduring power of memory. And so, the tale of Arun and Ica lived on, a haunting testament to the complexities of the human heart and the tragic beauty of their forbidden love. The end.
Thanks for tuning in to our podcast. If you enjoyed our exploration of ghosts, mythical creatures, and urban legends, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling episodes. Until next time, my beloved listeners.